Leo took advantage of my family's support and soared to the top. Later, he embezzled my family's assets, stomped the gas pedal, and killed me, then moved abroad with his sweetheart to live a sweet life. It was then that I finally understood, he was only after my family's wealth and resources when he pursued me. When I woke up again, I had been reborn to the day he confessed his love to me. Holding a bunch of roses, he put on his most passionate gaze. "Molly, will you be my girlfriend?" I chuckled. "Be my dog. It pays $1 million a month, but you have to be neutered. It's his turn to die now." Leo's smile froze in shock. He clearly couldn't believe what I just said. "Molly, what did you just say?" I laughed it off. I was kidding. His face darkened. "This is not the time to joke around." I dropped the smile and looked serious. "Oh really? But you were the one who joked first." Confessing to me at the bathroom door with some wilted flowers he probably picked from a trash can? That's a joke. In my last life, I had thought he was just poor, which was why his confession was so shabby. I turned him down but then arranged a grand proposal for him. On the day he killed me, he told me that he did it on purpose. Trash can flowers are more than enough for someone like you. Leo didn't understand my words. He thought I misunderstood his confession and tried to explain himself. I cut him off. "Leo, in our circle, face is everything. Your kind of confession is a disgrace. If anyone asks what happened, what do you expect me to say?" Leo fell silent. He wanted to climb through my connections and network little by little. He couldn't afford to throw his face away. Pity my past self, who spent money packaging him, fixing his problems, funding, and supporting him, only to end up dead. Before I died, he firmly accused me, saying I had stripped him of the dignity a man deserved. Since that's how he felt, I made sure to respect him fully. I would never again use my money to insult his precious male dignity. But here, with nobody around, Leo didn't bother to put on his act. He threw down the flowers, his eyes full of anger. "Molly, are you looking down on me because I'm poor?" One of his roommate's girlfriends had ditched her boyfriend for a rich, balding 50-year-old guy. Leo would always use that to manipulate me. "Molly, you won't leave me for money, right?" I would feel heartbroken and then keep throwing money at him, thinking it would give him a sense of security. Now, I pulled away from his hand, smiling calmly. "My dog spends more than $1 million a month. What makes you think you can move me with worthless sweet talk?" I walked past him and canceled our table. He didn't deserve a meal at a $2,000 a head romantic restaurant. Leo chased me out of the restaurant, lowering his voice even as he tried to threaten me. "Molly, you'll regret this." How ridiculous. What's there for me to regret? I drove straight to my countryside manor to soak in the hot springs. A new life deserved a fresh start. Cleansing away the filth of the past, I stayed at the manor for a week. Leo didn't contact me, probably waiting for me to apologize. I had shown him too much respect, and that gave him the nerve to act like this. Sure enough, as soon as I got back from the manor, a friend who runs a bar called me. "Your boyfriend's drunk over here. Can you come get him?" My heart sank. This kind of statement made me uncomfortable. We weren't even together, yet my friends had already assumed our relationship. I had given Leo too many privileges, making him think he could control me entirely. In my last life, he had put on a good act, obedient and sweet most of the time, with the occasional tantrum. I had thought it was just a couple thing and coaxed him along. Who knew he harbored such ambition and depth? Remembering my gruesome death, my voice chilled. "If he can't pay, call the cops." My friend was clearly shocked. "You're serious?" I told him about Leo's bathroom door confession. They needed to know the reason, so no one would try to make peace. My friend was furious. "Never seen such a lowlife. You spent so much money on him, bought so many gifts. Even if he was broke, selling just one or two items could have set up a decent proposal. He's a freeloader with no self-awareness. Don't worry, I won't let him get away with this." My friend called the cops, and the drunk Leo was taken to the station. Leo had no connections in this city. He came here for school. His most frequent contact was me. The police called me first. "Hello, this is the police. Your friend Leo dined and dashed at a bar. The owner called us. Can you come and mediate? I wholeheartedly agreed. Then I turned around and dialed another number. Hello, Professor. Your student Leo got caught skipping out on a bar tab and got taken to the station. The police called me, but I think it's better if you handle it. Leo's counselor was cautious and didn't immediately believe me. No problem, I recorded everything. The police officer's voice came through clearly, and I could hear whispers in the background with others present. It was an unexpected bonus. All right, thank you for letting me know. The counselor's voice was icy. He must be furious with Leo now. Teachers hate it when graduates get into trouble, and Leo was a senior. If he got expelled, his college years would go to waste. If he got a demerit, it would stay on his record, affecting future studies and jobs. The next day, Leo sobered up and messaged me angrily. Molly, are you insane? How could you call my professor? I might get expelled now. You need to apologize to your friend and get him to drop the charges. A week has passed, and he still hasn't learned. Sick of his barking, I blocked him. After a solid 2-hour workout, I dragged my sore legs home. Leo was sitting on my sofa in a bathrobe, sprawled out shamelessly. He was eating watermelon while watching the game. I was annoyed that I forgot to delete his fingerprint from the system. When he heard the door open, Leo didn't even look up and frowned in discontent. Why are you back so late? I've been waiting for you for an hour. I'm starving. I sneered. He was so hungry but wouldn't cook or order takeout. It was clear he was waiting for me to come back to spend money and effort, being taken advantage of. I remember the first time he walked into this house, he showed obvious longing. I don't have big dreams. I just hope to come home after work to a nice meal. No matter how late it is, I want a light on and a hot meal waiting for me. His eyes sparkled, filled with anticipation as he looked at me. I couldn't understand his mindset and stupidly responded, then you'd need to prepare a room for a housemaid. Leo's eyes dulled. He neither agreed nor disagreed and changed the subject. Since then, he always subtly hinted at his longing for a good wife who'd cook for him. When I ordered takeout, he ate it while complaining that it's unhealthy. When I took him out to eat, he devoured the food but say nothing is as good as homemade. When I hired a maid to cook, he said domestic services are just scams. Many things you can do yourself. Why waste the money? Because of that, I signed up for a cooking class. When Leo found out, he complained again. Cooking is simple. Why take a class? My mom cooks well. She can teach you later. So he canceled my class and kept criticizing every aspect of takeout, restaurants, and maids. I couldn't tell that he wanted me to be a second mom, taking care of his needs. In college, I had a roommate who was financially savvy, always finding ways to save money. In my last life, I thought Leo was like my roommate, frugal and practical. Leo noticed I wasn't moving and turned to me impatiently. I'm starving here. What are you doing? I smiled faintly, took out my phone. Leo didn't mind, thinking I was ordering takeout. 3 minutes later, the property caretaker and security came up and dragged the barely dressed Leo out. No, Molly, what are you doing? Tell them to let go of me. I ignored him, took a few photos of him and posted them in the community group captioned, "Pervert spotted, everyone be cautious." In Leo's panicked eyes, I deleted his fingerprint from the system. Then I had the maid pack his things and send them back to his dorm. I was shocked by how much stuff he had left in my place. I didn't realize it, but he often found excuses to stay over. He was a student sponsored by my parents. Initially, he always called me sister, then started calling me Molly as our relationship became ambiguous. I always treated him as a younger brother, but as our relationship shifted to romance, I took better care of him. I was compassionate, but he was shameless. Since that was the case, I decided to ruin his reputation. Leo couldn't enter my community, so he hung around my school. He loitered around the girls' dormitory, drawing suspicious glances. I took a different route to enter from the back but encountered Leo's sweetheart, Sandy, at the dorm entrance with her long, straight black hair and white dress. She was a little goddess from the law school. Objectively, she had great natural features and bone structure. In my last life, I was puzzled why Leo, with such a pretty sweetheart, would like someone else like me. Only after dying once did I realize Leo's real affection was always for Sandy. It's laughable. In my past life, he fooled me by saying he was tired of seeing Sandy's face since childhood and that he liked my freshness. At that time, driven by hormones, I never doubted his words. I even took extra care of Sandy, thinking she was his childhood sweetheart. Sandy often played peacemaker between Leo and me. I really thought they were pure, never had doubts. I didn't know they had been sleeping together whenever I was busy with studies or work and not around Leo. They even used my money for hotel rooms. When I died, Sandy was there. She confessed while I lay there, "If it weren't for your money, Leo wouldn't give you a second look." Seeing this familiar face again, I felt only repulsion. Sandy gave me a gentle smile. "Molly, don't be mad at Leo. He's just immature and thoughtless. I apologize on his behalf. Don't take it to heart." My teeth ached. How did I not hear her insincere tone before? Seeing my silence, Sandy continued to explain for Leo, "Molly, you know our family isn't well off. The rose thing was cheap, but I've scolded Leo. He won't do it again. In my last life, they fooled me completely. I never suspected a girl with ill intentions. I was too forgiving and naive, always being used by Sandy." I stopped my hand from opening the door and turned to Sandy. "Sandy, what is your relationship with Leo? What gives you the right to apologize on his behalf?" Sandy didn't expect my aggressive tone. She bit her lip, tears welling up quickly. She looked pitiful. But crying in a women's dorm without her knights in shining armor around to blame me was foolish, Sandy. "Molly." A sharp voice from behind startled me. Leo rushed over, pushing me aside and pulling Sandy behind him. "Molly. How could you bully Sandy?" His partiality was so obvious. In my last life, I hadn't noticed Leo's protectiveness over Sandy because we always got along. Thinking back, I realize it was my naivety. In my past life, Leo chose Sandy over me many times. When it rained, he picked Sandy up first. When we ate, he ordered Sandy's favorite dishes first. He said I had a driver at home, and Sandy only had him. He said Sandy hadn't eaten something before, so he ordered it for her first. With all these signs, I chose to trust them and refused to speculate about their relationship. When Leo pushed me, my hand went numb. He didn't notice I was hurt and turned to wipe Sandy's tears. "Sandy, are you okay? Don't cry, I will stand up for you." Leo turned to face me angrily, apologized to Sandy. Sandy tugged at his sleeve, tears hanging from her lashes, looking pitiful. "No, Leo. Sandy, don't speak for her." Before he could finish, I slapped him. The sound was loud in the empty hallway. Leo was stunned, clutching his face in disbelief. "Molly, did you just hit me?" Sandy looked heartbroken and indignant. "Molly, if you have a problem, come at me. How could you hit Leo?" "Come at her." I raised my hand and slapped Sandy, too. I remembered now, in my past life, Sandy was the one who hit the accelerator that led to my death. I pushed the dumbfounded pair aside, reinserted the key, opened the dorm door, and went in, closing the door behind me. Outside, I could hear Sandy sobbing and Leo cursing. Other dorm mates came out to scold them for being noisy, and they unwillingly left. Before leaving, Leo threatened me. "Molly, if you don't apologize to Sandy, don't expect me to forgive you." Shameless, as if he had the right to say such things. I recalled Sandy showing me photos of her and Leo being intimate. Her face was twisted with pride. "I've slept in your bed more times than you." Sandy's face was vivid in my mind, hard to erase. I rushed to the restroom and started dry heaving over the toilet. So disgusting. Their threats sounded so resolute, I thought they were done for good. But just 3 days later, Sandy appeared before me again. I was eating, and it really ruined my appetite. She sat down across from me with a plate, looking pathetically poor. My plate was full of meat and fish, hers had a little congee and some side dishes. She shamelessly said, "Molly, last time Leo misunderstood you. I've already explained everything to him. I'm really sorry." In some ways, Sandy was more capable than Leo. More patient and clever, she only mentioned Leo's misunderstanding and skipped the part where I slapped them. High-level manipulation. You both sincerely like each other. Don't let a little misunderstanding break you apart. Sandy stirred the bowl of congee but didn't take a bite, her eyes filled with anticipation, slowly turning to confusion. Why? Because in the past, I always complained she ate too little and was as thin as a gust of wind. Every time she brought congee and sat beside me, I'd force her to get more food, piling up meat for her to eat. When I first met Sandy, she was skin and bones, with a strong sense of pride. She'd eye the meat in my bowl but stubbornly insist she needed to maintain her figure with just congee. After a couple of times, I couldn't stand her eager eyes and forcefully got her real meals. I didn't strip her of her pride, just insisted she ate too little around me, making me look like a pig, so she reluctantly complied. See, good intentions lead to no good rewards. I ignored Sandy and continued eating my ribs. She swallowed unconsciously. Molly? I kept ignoring her, knowing someone would step in for her. Molly, you're eating meat while Sandy's having congee? Leo's shamelessness knew no bounds. Spoiled for long enough, he thought the help was his by right. I slapped his pointing hand away. Point at me again, and I'll chop it off. My voice was ice cold. Leo pulled his hand back instinctively. Realizing he looked weak, he raised his voice to regain ground. What, did I say something wrong? You're mistreating Sandy, and you think you're justified? I stood up, raised my voice as well. Sandy, I'm not the school's student aid officer. If your family is really poor, apply for financial aid from your college. I can buy you a few meals but can't take care of you forever. I left with my tray, ignoring Sandy's embarrassed red face and Leo's furious outburst. Sandy's family wasn't actually poor, they just favored sons. She got into high school and college without a penny from them. Leo once suggested to my dad that he sponsor Sandy. My dad sponsored her for a year but stopped when he found out she bought a $300 lipstick. She was just in high school then. Dad was deeply disappointed and changed his sponsorship method, directly paying tuition, accommodation, and meal fees for students, sending clothes and shoes each season. But this didn't include Sandy. In university, Leo brought homemade gifts to thank my dad. I thought he was grateful and continued to support his studies. There were numerous aid programs at school. Anyone who applied and had their situation verified would get help. To win my dad's favor, Leo said with my dad's help, he wouldn't take school aid. Sandy didn't apply, purely for pride. As the little goddess of the law school, she didn't want anyone to know she was from a poor family. She relied on part-time jobs and Leo's support to get by. After meeting me, her meals were mostly my responsibility, and she lived well enough. She was long past only drinking congee, just used to exploiting me, and reflexively bought congee for a whole week. Sandy didn't show up. Leo hovered not too far from me, looking heartbroken. Of course, it was all for show. I'm kind of a looks person. In my previous life, Leo's tricks always worked on me. Whenever he frowned, I'd back down without him even needing to say anything. Now, Leo followed me to the academic building. He was on the phone with someone in the stairwell. Don't worry, Molly has a soft heart. I've tested this many times. In less than 3 days, she will definitely surrender and make up with me. Next week is my birthday. I'll sweet-talk her into taking us to Junhuang. We can have all the good cigars, booze, fish, meat, and delicacies we want. Tested many times? How amusing. Gradually pushing my limits, forcing me to give in, stepping on me, sucking my blood, and then kicking me away. I walked off quietly, found an empty classroom, picked up my phone, and dialed campus security. Hello, There's been a strange person hanging around the girls' dorms recently. Could you check the area more often during your patrols? A few personal items went missing from the girls' dorms last week. After the call, I couldn't snap out of it for a long time. Tested many times? In what way? Like making me skip class to watch a movie with him? Or pretending to be sick, calling me away from my competition? Or saying he left his project file at home and making me drive alone to a deserted area to deliver it? Disrupting my plans again and again to test how much I would sacrifice for him. Every time I compromised, it was a successful offering in his mind. That was how he tamed me. What was Leo good at? Giving me the silent treatment, playing the victim, and advancing by retreating. Thinking back to my previous life, right after Leo and I got together, I took him to meet my parents. I thought since Dad had praised Leo before, he'd be thrilled to have such an outstanding person as my boyfriend, his half-son, but Dad didn't approve of us. He said, "Leo is excellent, and I admire him, but he can only be my subordinate or partner, never my son-in-law." I didn't understand. Why? "Dad, you clearly like him, so why not?" Back then, Dad tried to persuade me. Unequal family backgrounds can cause psychological imbalances. He may be good to you now, but it might just be for the advantages you bring him. I cut him off. "You praise him in front of Leo but disparage him to me. Don't you think that's hypocritical, Dad?" Ignoring Dad's advice, I left home with Leo. I didn't say anything, but Leo guessed it all. He hugged me with fake tears. "Molly, don't be mad at your dad because of me." Then he pushed me back into the villa and walked away distraught. After that, Leo fell ill. Half asleep, he called and cried to me, "Molly, please don't leave me. You're all I have." It was like a spell had been cast on me. Couldn't see through Leo's pity act. I felt so sorry for him that I left home in the middle of the night to care for him, tirelessly nursing him for 2 days. When he recovered, he pushed further. "Molly, you don't belong here. My background isn't good enough for you. You should go back." He was saying it to drive me away, but tears were streaming down his face and he wouldn't let go of my hand. Feeling sorry for him at the time, I called my dad and had a big fight, then moved out of my house. This proved that in my heart, Leo was more important than my parents, and he became certain I couldn't live without him. The more I gave in, the more he took me for granted and exploited me. When Leo extended his PhD, whenever we had arguments, he would blame me, saying, "You look down on me, just like your father." It made me feel guilty and I would concede more. He was training my compliance, bending my back for him to step on. I clutched my phone tightly, hatred flaring within. Leo got caught by campus security and labeled a creep. Sandy rushed to clear his name. But because she didn't live in the graduate dorms, her statement wasn't valid. Desperate, she came to me. "Molly, Leo is really not a creep. He was hanging around the girls' dorms looking for you. He truly likes you. Please help him, don't let him get that label." She also shed tears. If Leo wasn't restrained, he'd probably come and scold me for bullying her. I looked up at the sky. Sure enough, a big white lotus. I casually grabbed a blank lab report sheet and scribbled a few lines. Basically, I wrote that Leo and I know each other and recently had a disagreement. He was looking for me to apologize. First, I would act nice to Leo, let him feel satisfied, and then proceed to the next step. Sandy hesitated as she took the paper from me. "Molly, is this enough? Maybe you should come with me to the security office?" I sternly pulled the paper back. "If you don't need it, I'll throw it away." She quickly hugged the paper like it was a treasure. "I need it." I returned to the lab while Sandy ran off to rescue Leo. Later, when I came out of the lab, I received a bouquet of roses. The card had Leo's handwriting. "Look at that, he can afford a bouquet of roses. He just never thought I deserved one." Whatever, I tossed the flowers into the trash. Trash flowers from a trash person belong in the trash. For the next 5 days, Leo's flowers kept coming. I stayed in the lab, so he couldn't find me. He would leave the flowers and go. On the 6th day, Sandy cautiously approached me. "Molly, this Sunday is Leo's birthday. Do you remember?" I nodded. She sighed in relief. "Leo has been sending you flowers for so many days. You accepted them, so you're not mad anymore, right?" I didn't respond. Leo is a guy. He's always worried about saving face. "Molly, can you just give him an out?" Sandy sometimes acts so naive and innocent in front of me, like she doesn't understand the world. If it wasn't for my rebirth, I would have already seen her true colors. I might have even let her deceive me again. I picked up my phone and, in front of her, booked a private room at a restaurant. Sandy couldn't hide her expression. She was visibly happy. "Molly, have you thought about what to get Leo as a gift?" I shook my head while putting away my phone. Sandy's eyes twinkled mischievously. "Leo got his driver's license 6 months ago. He's always wanted a car." I sneered inwardly. If he wants a car, he can buy it himself. Why tell me? Begging with such self-righteousness. I kept a calm face and nodded knowingly. Sandy walked away, looking smug like a proud peacock, her eyes filled with contempt toward me. Before I died in my last life, I accused them both of betrayal. Sandy had said dismissively, "It's your own fault for being so stupid and letting us manipulate you. Besides, why should someone as dumb as you have so much?" The two faces overlapped in my mind, and I heard the sound of teeth chattering. My fingernails dug into my palm as I suppressed the anger inside. Back in the dorm, my roommate was there. She was munching on chips and asked me indistinctly, "I heard you're giving Leo a car for his birthday?" In my last life, I did give him a car. That week, I was quite busy with work. He took Sandy to the sea in that car, good food, good wine, beautiful sights, a couple's hotel. I was like the security guard of their love, spending money, time, and effort to let them put a green hat on me. Early Sunday morning, I had someone drive the car to the hotel. Flowers surrounded the car, and a white cloth draped over it. You could vaguely tell it was a convertible sports car. I slept in until 5 in the afternoon, then got ready to go out. Not to the restaurant, of course, but to the airport. My parents were coming home today because National Day was approaching. They've traveled the world for years but never spent National Day abroad in my last life, because I insisted on being with Leo, who sponged off me without any sense of shame or responsibility. My parents cut ties with me in anger. But they had soft hearts under their tough exteriors. They didn't take back the assets and shares they gave me. Although they refused to see me, they still left me enough money to live comfortably. I chose Leo blindly and hurt them. In this new life, I will never again harm the people who love me most. Their plane was at 7:30 p.m. I arrived at the airport at 6:30 p.m. There were no messages or calls on my phone. I had reserved the restaurant for Leo at 6. The host didn't show up, so the guests started without me. That's Leo's manners for you. He was used to ignoring me, used to treating me as an accessory, and used to taking credit for my name. It's fine, let him enjoy himself a bit longer. At 7, Sandy texted me, asking why I hadn't arrived yet. I didn't reply. At 7:30 p.m., I greeted my parents. My dad's business thrived during a time of great economic opportunity. When he realized he couldn't keep up with the times anymore, he stepped down gracefully, living off annual dividends and accumulated wealth. After I started college, they began traveling. At first, it was domestic road trips, then global adventures. They always come home for important dates, spending the rest of the year enjoying the world. Since my rebirth, I've only video chatted with them. The last time I saw them in person was 5 or 6 years ago. I hugged my parents tightly, the overwhelming emotion of losing and regaining them making me more sorrowful than happy. My mom patted my head. "What's got you so upset that you're shedding tears?" I shook my head. "Nothing, I just missed you." My dad's loving voice came from above. "All right then, we'll stay home a bit longer this time, so this little crybaby won't secretly shed tears again. They're really here with me. It's so good." On the way home, Sandy messaged again, "Molly, we're all here, Just waiting for you. Where are you? Sheesh. My booked room, invitation list not run by me, all arranged by them. They really think they're somebody. Shameless. I turned off my phone, stepped on the gas, and headed home. At 9, the car parked steadily in front of the villa. Our housekeeper had prepared a table full of delicious food, the aroma inescapable. After parking, Sandy called. I didn't pick up. She messaged, Molly, why aren't you here yet? Not coming. You all seem to be having a good time without me. We're all waiting for you to cut the cake. Cut the cake? Waiting for me to give the car and pay, you mean? I set her messages to do not disturb, turned off my phone, and went inside to eat with my parents. Spending time with family was so much more pleasant than seeing Leo and Sandy's faces. At 11, I lay on my big bed, watching a video my cousin sent. In the video, Leo was surrounded by people as he made his way downstairs. With an unconcealable smug look on his face, flattering words came one after another. Leo was already dizzy with delight. As he neared the parked sports car, his expression changed. The white cloth had fallen to the ground, and 2 people were sitting in the car. The car slid out, drifting in circles at the restaurant's entrance. The onlookers erupted in excited cheers. Leo grabbed a restaurant staff in a rage. Who are they? Why are they touching my car? The hotel security rushed over to rescue the staff, shouting into their walkie-talkies, there's trouble at the entrance, come quickly. Leo walked quickly to the sports car and grabbed the driver by the collar. Who are you? Why are you touching my car? The surrounding crowd pulled Leo away. Where did this lunatic come from? A $4 million car, and you think you can drive it? The hotel manager arrived late, hurriedly apologizing to the car owners. But Leo wouldn't let it go. You're driving my car, and you think you're in the right. He tried to argue further but was held firmly by security. The manager, after receiving a report from staff, confirmed Leo was an unfamiliar face and was less polite. Mister, we understand if you're drunk, but please don't cause a scene at our hotel. Leo wouldn't listen, insisting the car was his. The people with him were confident at first. They insisted it was a birthday gift for Leo from his girlfriend. The car owners simply retorted, and where's your girlfriend? The crowd swayed, locking eyes on Sandy. Are you sure this car is from you? Sandy felt a bit delighted, enjoying being recognized as Leo's girlfriend. But only for a moment. She quickly denied it, took out her phone, and showed them my contact. She's the one. Someone leaned in closer and laughed. It's all just one-sided texts from you. There was no reply at all. What girlfriend? You guys must have been imagining things. The loud laughter reached Sandy's ears. Her face turned red with embarrassment, and she started calling me. But all she heard was the automated message, the number you are calling is not in service. The crowd's laughter grew even louder. The manager called someone over and said to Leo, let's compromise. Pay the bill and leave, and we won't pursue the matter of you causing a scene. All eyes were on Leo. He seemed to come to his senses a bit and grabbed Sandy's phone, dialing my number repeatedly. But all he got was the automated message. Someone in the crowd mused aloud, could they be planning to dine and dash? Suspicious and curious gazes were fixed on Leo and Sandy. They looked embarrassed and awkward, like monkeys in a zoo. In the hot and noisy atmosphere, the flustered Leo swung his fist and hit someone. The video ended with the sound of police sirens. My cousin texted me, this guy has been arrested before for not paying due to drinking. His teacher came but couldn't pay the restaurant bill, 15 grand, probably going to have a criminal record. 2 minutes later came another text, next time you have something like this, remember to call me. Just one small request, can I pick the car myself? Taking advantage but still asking for more, at least he's family. Trustworthy and won't screw me over. Outsiders who are too greedy end up like Leo. Returning to school on Monday, I saw Leo sitting downstairs, looking dejected. Sandy followed closely behind him, her eyes red, as if she'd been crying. Seeing me, she hurried over, looking extremely aggrieved. Molly, why didn't you reply to my texts yesterday? Before I could speak, Leo pulled her behind him to protect her. Molly, where's the car you promised? I couldn't help but roll my eyes. When did I say I was giving you a car? Did I whisper it in your ear? Leo's face darkened further. Then why didn't you show up at the restaurant yesterday? I kept rolling my eyes. Why would I need to go to the restaurant? Leo raised his voice, his chest heaving with anger. You booked the private room. If you didn't go, who would pay? I feigned extreme surprise. I didn't go, but you still had your meal, right? A 15 grand meal too. I exaggeratedly made a gesture for 15 grand. My whole family can't eat that much. Leo was publicly criticized by the school and earned a new nickname, 15 grand. His face was as dark as coal. Did you do this on purpose? I pretended to be scared. Don't wrongly accuse me. It's your birthday, of course you host. You ordered the food. What does it have to do with me? Just because you occupied the table I booked? Leo was fuming, and Sandy, like a little rabbit, hid behind him. Seems like Leo had yelled at her too. She now just wanted to minimize her presence, letting all Leo's anger be directed at me. I smiled kindly. Could it be Sandy miscommunicated? I never said those things. Sandy, you always overinterpret. I've told you not to overthink. See, now you've caused trouble for Leo. Leo glanced back, his anger evident. Sandy shivered slightly and whispered in her defense, Molly, I didn't. Leo immediately defended her. Sandy isn't like what you say. Leo shamelessly reached out. Yesterday's meal bill, 16 grand. Hurry and pay up. I clutched my bag and stepped back. I didn't even step into the restaurant, didn't see or eat any food. Why should I pay? You booked the room. If you don't pay, who will? Leo snatched my bag and took out my high-limit card. I couldn't get it back, and my things spilled all over the place. Seeing my disheveled state, Sandy even smirked. Laugh all you want, you won't be laughing soon. I slumped to the ground, crying and picking up my things. A few people passed by, watching our little drama unfold. My card was used in multiple fraudulent transactions, amounting to tens of thousands. Meanwhile, an audio clip appeared online with the title, Rich Kid's Girlfriend Treats Everyone to Dinner but Refuses to Pay, and even promises a luxury car. The views were few, but it trended. I clicked and listened. It was my voice edited with some AI touch-ups, sounding quite real. I booked the private room, 15 grand, we'll gift you a car. Why should I pay? In just 3 hours, on a popular platform, there were live comments. The next day, stepping out, I became the center of attention. Some people, hoping to gain fame, even aimed their phones at me to record. I timidly retreated to my dorm, applied for leave from my teacher, and lay in bed. When I searched online, my personal information and high-resolution photos had been posted. This one seems quite wealthy. Her outfit alone costs tens of thousands. Definitely not a scammer. From our school. Definitely a rich kid, just don't know what her family does, but she sure looks loaded. By the third day, I had become labeled as a gold-digging slut still daring to have a boyfriend. My roommate pulled my bed curtain open. You scared me to death. Don't do anything drastic. Everyone who knows you is clarifying things online. Who's so mean to spread such rumors? I lay twisted in bed. Don't get attacked online because of me. The roommate nodded mechanically. My phone was nearly overwhelmed with messages. Some jerk had exposed my phone number, flooding me with thousands of messages a day. Eating the durian my roommate brought back, I happily watched TV. Normally, she wouldn't let me eat it, saying it smelled too bad. Now she feared I might do something drastic when she's not around. She was indulging me in everything. My advisor sent me dozens of encouraging messages daily. No pressure with experiments or thesis. Life was beautiful. The roommate felt my calmness was unsettling. She went out and brought back a psychologist for maybe the 4th day. Rumors claimed I'd been cyberbullied to the point of a mental breakdown. Some clapped in delight, happy to see one less bitch in the world. Some began to feel remorse, saying I wasn't that bad. Some pointed out the false rumors, others lamented the horror of cyberbullying. Of course, some still insisted I got what I deserved. When I opened my eyes on the 5th day, Leo was staring right at me. I quickly sat up, and saw Sandy below me. My roommate looked helpless. They both want to see you. Maybe they can clear things up for you. I wrapped myself in my blanket and huddled into the corner. What are you two here for? Leo's eyes lit up. Molly, do you remember me? I smacked him on the head. Idiot. Leo's face stiffened. I smacked him again. Idiot. Sandy pulled Leo away, looking at me with starry eyes. Molly, do you remember me? I pinched her face for a moment. You're thick-skinned. I rubbed her face hard, making her foundation smudge. Leo and Sandy looked upset but couldn't do anything. Leo tried to be patient. Molly, how about I take you home? I kicked my foot out, almost hitting his face. Home. Leo smiled a bit gloomily. I unexpectedly slapped him again. Home. Idiot. Leo wanted to carry me downstairs on his back, but I refused. I insisted on riding on his shoulders like a horse. There were lots of flashing lights along the way. My roommate gave me a hat and a mask, leaving only Leo and Sandy's faces exposed. Leo stuffed me into the car and drove my car to my house. My mom took me to my room, and Leo went into the study with my dad. They had a long talk for 3 hours. 5 hours later, a clarification video appeared online. Leo and Sandy showed their full faces. Of course, no one cared about the clarification. They focused on their looks instead. I watched their clarification video, stuffing myself with the dishes my family made prepared, and called the police. I also instructed the lawyer to start filing charges. This included but wasn't limited to Leo using my card without permission, robbing me in public, maliciously editing audio to slander me, and certain internet users who helped spread rumors. HD video and clear audio fully supported our evidence. Leo and Sandy were arrested by the police. The truth and the turnaround came unexpectedly. My roommate and friend's clarification video was trending. My cousin uploaded a video from outside a restaurant, showing Leo stealing a car, hitting people, and eating without paying. School surveillance clearly showed Leo grabbing my bag. Full audio recordings leaked online. The IP address from which the audio harassing me was posted was traced to an internet cafe. The cafe's surveillance showed that the computer at that time was used by Leo and Sandy. Leo's image as a vain, ungrateful kept man was solidified. Their faces were clearly visible in their own clarification video. Just as they dug into my information, Leo and Sandy's details were exposed too. Leo had a grandfather who beat his grandmother to death and a father who drank heavily and drove his mother away. Justice-driven internet users dug up all their history. Leo had pursued me for over a year but had a 6-month fling with Sandy. Netizens did a timeline comparison and thoroughly condemned Leo as a scumbag. There was a flood of online curses. Unfortunately for Leo and Sandy, they were in police custody, unable to experience the internet outrage as I had. At just 22, they weren't experienced enough or cunning enough yet. Their plan was to use the media exposure to paint me as a materialistic woman and use the crowd's insults and attacks to break me down. Then, Leo would swoop back in as a savior, and I would supposedly fall madly in love with him. In TV dramas and novels, that's usually how it goes. The man helps the woman at her lowest, and she's bound to him forever, willing to be his slave and accessory. My near-death experience showed Leo's true colors, and I wouldn't fall into that trap. I deliberately acted foolish to make Leo think his plan was foolproof. After all, if he was willing to take care of a fool for the rest of her life, my dad would have to be grateful to him whether he liked him or not. To show his sincerity, he promised my dad he and Sandy would make a video to clarify the misunderstandings online about me. Leo was obsessed with the idea that marrying me would grant him my family's wealth, changing his fate forever. He already saw me as his possession and treated my things as his, boldly using my card. He was too eager for quick success, thinking my dad was as easy to deal with as me. He forgot my dad was a businessman. A businessman never makes a losing deal. Leo publicly exposed his own information in his HD video, guided the online attack on himself, and it had nothing to do with me. I instructed the lawyer to visit them and ensure Leo and Sandy saw how exciting the internet had become. They were insecure and hypocritical, most afraid of their embarrassment being seen. They maintained a polished exterior, defending their fragile egos but lacked true strength, unable to withstand public opinion. While awaiting judgment, 2 uninvited guests came to the school. Leo's father and grandfather. They held photos of me circulated online, comparing them with the girls at the cafeteria door. Their eager and greedy eyes scared many girls. In my previous life, I never met them. After Leo went to college, he cut off contact with his family. I guess it was an online bullying incident that exposed Leo's address, and they found their way through the internet. An old, withered hand grabbed my arm, and a mouthful of yellow teeth emitted a foul smell. "We finally found you." Everything happened so suddenly I was shocked but couldn't shake off the hand. All I could do was scream for help. The cafeteria security and some kind-hearted classmates heard me and surrounded us, saving me. "How did you get in?" "Our school doesn't allow unauthorized entry. Trespassing is illegal." A little old man with white hair pointed at me. "How can this be trespassing?" "We came to find her. She is my granddaughter-in-law. We're family." One classmate stood in front of me. "Human traffickers are so brazen now, coming directly into schools to kidnap people." Other classmates, their emotions stirred up, started questioning the old man one by one. I shakily took out my phone and called the police. "No, my grandson is also a student here. His name is Leo. She is his girlfriend, so she's my granddaughter-in-law, right?" He shoved the phone screen in the classmates' faces, showing some gossip put together by netizens with pictures of me and Leo that only made things worse. The classmates got even angrier. "Leo has been harassing this girl. Now he's in the police station. You, as elders, should be teaching your kid better, not harassing the victim." The old man stiffened his neck and widened his eyes. "I don't care. It says online that she's Leo's girlfriend. She got Leo arrested, so she should take care of us. The internet says she has money, she should support us." His words left everyone there in stunned silence. A furious guy from the soccer team roared, and about a dozen people rushed at him, cursing and forcing him out of the school. They ran right into the police car that had been called, and everyone headed to the police station together. I thought it would end there. But on Friday, after school, I went out to eat and got mugged on the way back. It was Leo's grandpa and dad. They each had a knife and wore black masks. They weren't locals. Their accent and way of speaking were different. I memorized it after hearing it once. They didn't recognize luxury items or understand the value of watches and bags. They only knew from the internet that those things were worth money, so they made me hand everything over. I complied, even giving them a hair clip worth only a few bucks. With weak legs, I returned to school, called the family driver to pick me up, and only felt safe to call the police once I was home. Now I understood where Leo's wickedness and stupidity came from. It was genetic. In a big city full of surveillance cameras, Leo's grandpa and dad were soon caught. The lawyer said they initially tried to deny the robbery until the police played the surveillance footage in front of them. Finally, they glanced at each other. This big city has cameras everywhere. Now we're going to be on TV. I felt like my feet were frozen, as if I had plunged into an ice hole. Not waiting for the verdict, I applied to withdraw from school and disappeared from the city overnight with my parents. After being reborn, I always had a question in my mind. How can anyone be so blinded by money that they'd kill someone for it? Clearly, we could have broken up peacefully, and he could have earned money through his own efforts. Why did Leo have to kill me to seize my assets? Looking at Leo's grandpa and dad, who were so indifferent to robbery and crime, with no respect for law or morality, I finally understood. Some people are born bad, with a stench that seeps from their genes. They are irredeemably vile. Such people, as long as they live, are like ticking time bombs, forever posing a threat to public safety. Getting involved with them is like being tangled up in a filthy old rag. Life becomes rotten, and escape seems impossible. Now that the whole family is inside, it's the best time for me to completely cut ties with Leo, that maggot. The following spring, I contacted the lawyer one last time. Leo got 12 years, Sandy 5 years, and Leo's grandpa and dad 10 years each. After settling the lawyer's fees, I cancelled my phone number, severing all connections with my past. Spring is a time of renewal, and it marked my true rebirth. After dropping out, I didn't give up on my education. I set my sights abroad and gradually sent out applications. I received an offer from a decent school. Before the new semester, I joined my parents on a world tour. After my mind and body were healed, in September, I embarked on a new journey of life.